Hey craft cocktail and tiki drink fans, on today's video we're going to show you how to make the 1930s version of a Bloody Mary and throw in a few modern twists. But if we want to make sure that you have everything that you need to make this classic drink yours. Now before we get to that, we have just a few messages and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Now, if this is the first time that you've been to Bourbon Bill's Pirate Bar, we really appreciate you. If you're a returning viewer, we appreciate you even more. Now, we have just a few little housekeeping things right before we jump in and how to make the traditional 1930s Bloody Mary. Now, the first thing is we publish Wiki Tiki magazine. It is a high-gloss Tiki lifestyle magazine in both digital and digital download and in print. But get your print copy today because we're running low on stock on these, just like we always are. They tend to go pretty quick. And get your current and back issues in both print and digital download today. All right, now let's talk a little bit about the Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary is one of the staples of any full-service bar. But there are as many ways to make it as there are different kind of restaurants and bars that are out there. Everybody likes to put their own little twist on it. But today, we're going to jump back old school and refer back to the Savoy Cocktail Book. Now, this was put out by Harry Craddock of the Savoy Hotel in London in 1930. It is a great reference guide. It has over 750 cocktail recipes in it. We put a link to get your copy on Amazon down in the description, so take a look at that. Oh, before I forget, if you find this video useful, give us a big thumbs up, share it out to your friends, and most importantly, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button so you're the first to know when we upload new content to the channel. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about the Bloody Mary as it was in the original 1930s Savoy Cocktail Book. Now, Bloody Marys, can appear to be very intimidating, but actually the original recipe was really quite simple. So we're going to start off today. This is what we call a shaken drink as opposed to a build drink where you just build it right in the glass. We're going to take our Mixology and Craft Boston Shaker set. We have a link for that also down in the description. It's a great one. You see it on the show since the beginning, and we're up now close to 80 episodes at this point. So go ahead and get that, and we're going to start off with a little bit of terminology. Now, there's certain terms that you hear about when you're in a bar, like, I'm going to buy the house around. Well, around, if you go back to the original meaning of it, actually meant a bullet. Okay, somebody could come in the Old West and put a bullet on there because they were round and cylindrical, and put a bullet on, and that was the equivalent to get a shot of whiskey back in the day. Okay, or if you're in more of a UK setting, around meant for everybody around the bar. So it can, either way, there's just some terms that have come out of bar culture. Okay, so today we're going to hear one that you don't hear so much anymore. It's called a jigger. Okay, a lot of times in the recipes and in a lot of our other videos on here, and check those out on the channel when you get a chance, by the way. Now, and a standard jigger is 1 1/2 ounce on one side and 1 ounce on the other. Now, a lot of the recipes just call for a shot of this or a shot of that, which a shot typically is 1 ounce. But a jigger is typically 1 1/2 ounces. Now, this is the standard jigger. And again, 1 1/2 and 1, as purported by cocktailsociety.com. All right, so today we're going to start off with our base, which is vodka. Today we're using Kai Vodka, just a regular vodka that they have, straight vodka. It's gluten-free. Kai is our friends that are headquartered in Hawaii, but this is actually distilled from rice in Vietnam. And I have to say, there are a lot of great vodkas out there, but this one is so light, you really need to just give it a try. So, first off, we're going to start off with our 1.5 ounces. Throw that in the mixing tin. Now, what Bloody Mary would be complete without tomato juice? Now, let's talk about that for a second. Some people, such as myself, have to be a little concerned about sodium levels. Okay, now if you go and you actually look at how much sodium is already in tomato juice, sometimes it can be scary. The recommended daily allowance is like 2,000 milligrams a day. I was on an airplane once and I said, I'll have a Bloody Mary. And my wife said, you better check the sodium on that can. And they had a little can like this. It was not this brand. It was an airline brand that they had. It had, just in this little can, it had 1,500 milligrams of sodium. So it's like, oh no, that would be catastrophic for Bourbon Bill. But I get the V8 low sodium tomato juice for me, and it only has 95 milligrams of sodium. So we're going to give this a good little shake, and this is going to be 2 jiggers of tomato juice, which equates to about 3 ounces. So we're going to pour that right in, pour that in the jigger, pour that in the mixing tin. Pour that right in and set that aside. Okay, now we want to give this a little bit of more citrus flavor, so always use fresh juice whenever it's possible. Lemons and limes are common in every grocery store, and most little farmers markets, you can find them year round. So I'm blessed that I live in Florida, and we can just literally walk outside and pick fruit off the tree. So this calls for 1/3 of a jigger of lemon juice. So pour that in. And if you're counting, if this is 1.5 ounces, 1/3 would only be about 0.5 ounces of lemon juice. Okay? Now, being that this was London, Worcestershire sauce was pretty prevalent. Now, the original recipe calls just for a dash of Worcestershire. Now, here's the bonus part for this video. I'm going to show you the original recipe, and then we're going to bring it up to more modern standards with a couple of twists you might not expect. Okay, so we'll get to that in a little later in the video. Now, a lot of times the recipes will call for a dash or a splash. A dash is literally a drop or two. A splash is more like the equivalent of like a bar spoon or like a teaspoonful. So when it actually hits the mixing side, it makes a little splash. Hello. All right, so we're going to talk about just a dash of that, of Worcestershire, in there. And the last thing that it calls for is a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Now, get this. The original recipe just said, okay, just throw in a couple agitator cubes. You're going to shake this up really well, strain it into a glass, ice-filled glass, and that was it. No garnish. Okay? When's the last time you've ever gone to a bar and got served a Bloody Mary with nothing on it? I mean, I have gone and I have seen little sliders and shrimp and pineapple chunks, and it's like, oh my gosh, these garnishes are like ridiculous, almost like a mini buffet, if you will. Okay, but we'll get to that, and we're going to keep things old school, and then we're still going to dress things up just a little bit. So that is it for the recipe from the original 1930 Savoy Cocktail Book. So you can see, I believe you can do this at home Now, I want you to try this two ways. I want you to try the cocktail just as I showed you, but now we're going to add just a couple extra little twists just to bring this more in, you know, something that's less than 100 years ago, okay? So, I mean, this is a great recipe just by itself. It's light, it goes nice with a brunch, but let's doctor this up and tiki this up just a little bit. All right, now some people like a spicy Bloody Mary. We have a couple of options for that. We have good old Tabasco sauce, and we also have Louisiana hot sauce, which is actually my favorite. I like them both. It just kind of depends on the day. Tabasco is a little more traditional. I enjoy the pepper flavor of Louisiana a little bit better. So we're going to take that, and we're going to put in just 3 or 4 little dashes in there. Give a little bit of that Cajun heat. Now, we're going to add something that you're going to probably say, what the heck, Wheeler? This is really good just like it is, but I have discovered a long time ago that if you want something that has a little bit more mouthfeel to it and has a little more more body in that, so it tastes more rich, take a little bit of A1 sauce, okay? You're just like, okay, and you're like, Wheeler, you know, have you been hitting the rum just a little too heavy? I don't think so. I think if you try this, you're actually going to like it. Just give it like a teaspoon in there. All right, now we're just going to add just 2 or 3 agitator cubes into the mix. All right, and we're going to give that a good slap on the newborn baby's butt and give that a good shake. Now, you can always tell when it's just about right. And you say, well, how do I know how much to shake it? Some of the recipes that I have seen, it says, actually shake until your arms are tired. Well, it's like that would make for a long night behind the bar. You know, I can sure tell you that. But if you look at that, now you can kind of see that condensation on that tin, and that's usually enough. You don't necessarily have to shake until all of the ice is gone, but you want to make sure that it's got a good chill down and it has just a little bit of dilution into it. Now we're going to start off with Bourbon Bill's drink mat, and we're just going to start with a rocks glass or a double old fashioned, and we're going to load that up with some ice. Throw that in there, and I am getting anxious to enjoy this drink myself. All right. Now, some people will strain this drink because of the tomato juice. I don't think it's necessary. Tomato juice is tomato juice. Frankly, why bother? All right, so we're just going to pour that in, and look at that beautiful Bloody Mary color. Okay, and smell is almost as important as taste when it comes to your drink. Actually, smell is one of your oldest sense. You have a nerve bundle in your the back of your nasal passages that go straight to the brain. So that's one of our earliest senses. So smell is very important when it comes to a cocktail. All right, but we would be remiss if we just left this in the glass like this. I mean, it's beautiful, but we want to go ahead and just put something that's pretty familiar, and just a celery stalk in there. Put that right in there. But we're not done there yet. We're gonna tiki this up a little bit and find a red color umbrella just to put in there, just to make it just a little prettier. And there you have it. You have the traditional 1930s version of the Bloody Mary with a few modern twists. Well, if you like this, again, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and put what city you're watching this from. We're collecting all that from viewers from all around the world, and we really appreciate it. I know that this is pretty straightforward. I know you can do this at home because I believe in you. All right, well, that's it for today. This is Bourbon Bill at Bourbon Bill's Pirate Bar. I want you to enjoy this drink responsibly with your friends and just show off some new bartending skills and some new terminology. And that's it for today. And cheers.